Good morning, everyone. Economic Ninja here. I want to talk about why you need to be concerned. And I'm going to talk about centralization over decentralization. And before you hang up, this is a really hard topic for people to wrap their minds around. And I'm going to tell you of a plan that hundreds of thousands of people around the world right now are actually participating in to stop very bad people from doing very bad things. All throughout history, human beings have had a specific hierarchy. Even if everybody was dropped on this planet at the exact same time and had no job, nothing to their person, no ownership of anything, certain people would rise to the top through all kinds of different means. And it's very important to understand the value and the destructive nature that can be found in networks. You've heard a lot of times that how important it is to network, to be part of a network, right? Because there's really what it comes down to is power in numbers. And we've seen things that are good when it comes to networks, and we've seen things that are bad that comes to networks. The first thing that I think about is the mass media and what they have done to destroy the minds of so many people around the world because of one specific reality. No matter if you believe in God or if you do not, it says in the Bible that faith comes by hearing. A lot of people want to see something to believe it. But what you don't realize is that when you hear something over and over again, that's when you actually start to believe in something. Guys, type yes or no if you understand that or agree with that. A lot of people do not understand that because they actually truly believe that faith comes by seeing. No, I'll believe it if I see it because that's how we learn. But what you don't understand, there's a difference between learning something and truly understanding it. And hearing is how when you hear something over and over again, you believe it. And this is how very specific people that would want to rule over others and do bad things instead of good things have used this kind of subliminal messaging throughout the dawn of time. And I want to remind everyone before I get into what I'm going to do, and I'm going to share some, and I got to be very careful because this is the stuff that governments are afraid of. They're afraid of people coming together. They want to keep people separate. That's why communism, a lot of people don't understand how communism can infiltrate slowly through socialism, a society, and how they want to make it seem like everyone's fair, everyone's equal. It's your bank, it's the people's bank, it's your government, it's the people's government. When in all reality, you are a slave to a system. And so I'm going to remind everyone that today is the last day for the pre-filming discount for the Crypto Prepper. And I'm going to explain in a few minutes why I believe this is incredibly important, because what myself and a couple other guys are doing is we're going to expose something that's been around for over 10 years and governments are not wanting you to know about it because it is so decentralized. It makes, in my opinion, Bitcoin look centralized. I know it's hard for a lot of people to believe, but once you start to figure out what this is, you'll get it. So the link's down below to that. Now, can you imagine? First, I want you to think about this. How many people understand how time is told? Can you guys tell me how time is told? Because a lot of people are freaked out by a movement that happened, I don't know, 50 years ago called the New Age movement. All these, bad things that happen around crystals and all this stuff. Can you guys tell me how time is measured? Time is measured by a frequency that comes out of a quartz crystal. It pings. Many people don't realize that. They talk about how crystals are bad, but they control our cell phones. They control our remote controls. They control how we measure time. Yes, I understand that the sun rises, the sun sets, the moon rises, the moon sets. I get all that, right? But inside of that big cycle of time comes down to a frequency that pings, and it's measured. It's separated and measured. The internet works by computers speaking to each other using centralized servers. And now, through technological advancements and new ideas, they're becoming decentralized. Yet the governments around the world do not want that. As a matter of fact, even governments like the United Kingdom are trying so hard, and they are succeeding in censoring information on the internet horrifically. Because if you have the truth, if you have more knowledge coming in, you know what they're doing. Can you imagine a system where I could take a document that would incriminate someone or a group of people because they did illegal acts or hurt people? And you're seeing it right now in like three-letter agencies where they're destroying documents, destroying evidence because they themselves are a part of the crime. Can you imagine putting that document on a network that cannot ever be destroyed because it is backed up by thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of computers around the world? Would that be amazing? Type 1 if you think that would be awesome. Because then there would be no way of destroying it. Well, as we start to get into very difficult times, the next 4 years, don't get me wrong, they're going to be amazing. They're going to seem amazing, all right? But here's the problem. There's a story in the Bible where Joseph interpreted a dream from a pharaoh. And what it was, and you have to think about the human psychology. Think of people now, right now. This is what the dream was interpreted to be. There is going to be 7 years of plenty, meaning 7 years of just abundance, where you're going to farm. Your farms are going to have bumper crops. They're going to be overflowing. You're going to have so much food that you can't even hold it. You could just give it away, right? But then there are going to be 7 years of famine coming after that. Now think about it. Since I started this channel, I've said many times, I've talked about normalcy bias, where people really do believe that whatever's happening today, if it was the same yesterday and maybe a couple days before that, they honestly believe that tomorrow it's going to be the same thing and going into the future. Human beings, for the most part, like when I started this video and I said, if a bunch of humans were dropped out of the sky, fell on Earth, they all had nothing, they're all the same, they're actually not, because a handful of people understand. They just have this innate understanding that tomorrow is not promised to be like today, and they're going to do something about it. Well, this normalcy bias is what usually kills off populations and destroys governments and things like that. And if you agree with me, our government has been getting dumber and dumber, because it's like one stupid person moves up in the ranks and goes, well, I can't promote a smart person next to me because they're going to make me look dumb. So I got to promote 3 or 4 dumb people. I'm not joking. This isn't sarcasm. It really is like this. Type 2 if you agree with that. And what's happening, we are living through the movie Idiocracy, right? Now, as I say this, the nation has voted, and our entire nation just about, like, I mean, it was a blowout, election. So a lot of people are like, nah, Ninja, you're taking this out of proportion. But you have to understand, the people that are bad run the stock market. The people that are bad run the banks, okay? The people that are bad, until just recently, ran the government, all right? And yes, I know that the valve is being shut off, the money system, the way of taxing us and them stealing all of our tax money to become more rich, more powerful, own more media, and be able to shoot more propaganda into our ear. So what we need is an extremely decentralized system of checks and balances to be able to put documents. Now how do I shut? All right. What we are trying to do with this course is to wake a bunch of people up, people that own cryptocurrency or understand blockchain technology. And what I really want is people that have never touched it before. And we built a course to show you a specific network that was built and made better than Bitcoin in order to do a couple of things. And a currency is not its main objective. Can you imagine being able to take a website? You have all these, you take the Bible, you put it onto a website, right? Word for word. And then you store all of that data in a block that gets recorded on a blockchain that's held up by millions of computers around the world. And then when evil people want to change words in there and say, oh, it's fine to do this sin. It's okay. God said it's okay, because that's what they're doing. They're changing the Bible. They're changing history. They're changing information, like what you saw when the world shut down and they said, oh, you can't use that drug. Wait a minute, that drug has been used on humans forever. Nope, it's for horses. And do you know how many people believed that crap? Because they didn't understand history and they had no way to go. Because you know how easy it is to change things on the internet? Because they're centralized. Now, can you imagine putting that into a block being recorded on a blockchain to where at any point you could take that hash, that data off that block and compare it to the website and it goes, nope, these words were changed. Do you understand how powerful that is? Type 3 if you understand what I'm talking about. Type 4 if you're like, I don't understand what this guy's talking about. And if you really don't understand what I'm talking about, because this is life or death stuff, half a decade from now, I want you to understand that. This is where people are destroyed. I just got back from Thailand and I was at the palace, and it was amazing the stories that were written and in paintings. There were stories that were being told in paintings, and they were talking about giants that were eating people and all this stuff. And a lot of people would watch this and go, wow, here's some crazy people. They must have been smoking the hopium pipe. No, they weren't. They were not. I speak to Native Americans, and it's like it was yesterday, them talking about how they had to fight back a race, a civilization that was killing their people, and actually eating them. But yet you don't know about this. You want to know why? Because there are specific books in the Bible that were removed. Pretty crazy. I know I may sound crazy to you. Do I sound crazy to you? Yes or no? And the reason why I say that is because our government has been hiding certain things about that. You can go into a large museum in America. You can go in Europe, and you can see sarcophaguses that are 12 and 14 foot tall. And you could go and see sarcophaguses that are long, and you could see some that are 6 foot long, and you could see 6 foot long mummies. Well, what the heck was in the 14-foot ones? You don't see those. The reason why is because if you did, you would understand that there is an evil that's sitting on this earth that does not want to be made known. So what I'm doing, God has blessed me with a bullhorn that is massive. And what I want to do is I want to teach you something about a blockchain and a currency, but do not look at this as an investment. It's not. If you look at it as an investment, you're going to lose money. I'm not joking. I've told people to look at this, and since it's so decentralized, nobody's being paid to work on it. All these amazing computer coders around the world have been working on this for like 11 years, working their tails off for nothing, and they're about to give up. And I said, okay, I can figure something out. I can figure out a way of raising money and raising awareness and truth and understanding. And right now, in the last 48 hours, over 1,000 nodes have went online. A node, think of a node as a cell phone tower, right? And what it's doing is it's grabbing data from somewhere and it's blowing it out a different direction, right? It's just like it's a tower, an antenna, and it's pushing out information. Think of a node as that. What would be strong in a community or a city if Verizon came in and they put up 3 towers, or if they put up 30 towers? What's better? Type it, 3 or 30. The reason why I need you to say this out loud is because I want to make sure you're getting this as I'm talking. The Verizon network that has 30 towers is going to be stronger, correct? All right, a blockchain system that can store data, store your personal information securely. And if you want a message going to someone, it's not going through a centralized email. Please understand what I'm talking about here. And throughout recent history, you could have companies are like, we don't give out data. We ain't touching anything. Yeah, until the government walks up, like Coinbase or like all these other places say, we will imprison you. We will sue you. We will threaten you. We will do things to you, Mr. CEO or Mrs. CEO, until you give us that data. And you know what happens? They crack. Do you remember Liberty Safe giving all the master codes of its safes to the FBI just recently? Yeah, that happened under the last administration. Now, I want you to understand this. Yes, are these next 4 years going to be awesome? Heck yeah. But I'll tell you what, if you asked Eric Trump, if you asked Donald Trump, if you asked a lot of people in the White House right now to watch my video right now, I guarantee you they'd turn to you and say, he knows what he's talking about. Listen, you see, they can only do so much on the grand stage, but there are people like myself and people like you that understand also how dark it is. And it's like, we've got to build this network, a network of truth. In the last 48 hours, over 1,000 nodes have started up. We are a part of something right now that's so much bigger. You know, there were times where people were being enslaved and killed, and human beings created an underground railroad to save other people. They had to do it in darkness. Well, right now, what I'm doing is I'm not doing it in darkness. Praise God, I have ministering angels fighting battles for me right now in a totally different realm, because evil does not want this kind of information out. But there is a way to secure information so that it's not destroyed. There is a way to have your own currency, your own method of transfer completely outside of the system. And it's never existed on this scale until just recently because of blockchain technology and internet. If you want to learn about it, the link's down below to the course. The reason why I'm doing a course is we are taking 100% of the funds and we are going to attempt to make this better, to build on it, to invest in it. I highly suggest people don't buy more than 20 or 50 bucks worth. If you want to spend 100 bucks and buy this currency, then, have at it, but don't run the price up. Again, this should not be looked at as an investment monetarily. This should be looked at as a serious investment in your understanding and knowledge. You're going to feel like a lot of you will feel like computer coders after you're done with this thing, and it's incredibly basic. If you own the course, guys, do me a favor, say I'm in. Just because I already know if you bought the course, I cannot get over how many people have already started nodes in the first 48 hours of the course. It is absolutely incredible. And look at how many people right now are in. These are people all over the world that understand how serious this is. And I'm telling you right now, the day that Target was hacked in 2014, and they stole all of your Americans' personal information, right? The news came out with the truth, and the next day they were coerced by a corporation to change that story. But it was too late. Little did they know that someone in America, and I want you to understand, this was created in America, and it's for anyone on earth, trust me, because we're a blessed nation. America's blessed, and amazing ideas are going to continue to push out of America to bless other countries, right? I don't care what your nationality is. I don't care what your sex is. I don't care who you think God is. I'm not joking. You know what I care about? Is your heart. Because if your heart is correct and you are seeking truth, eventually you're going to find the truth. Say amen if you agree with that. Okay? I don't care where you're at today. I care where you want to be tomorrow. And if you want to be a better person and help more people, I want to be your friend. That's all I care about is your heart. We're all screwed up. We're all in different phases of our lives. But I'm telling you right now, this is the greatest opportunity to, like, a sneak attack. While everyone's looking at Bitcoin, while everyone's looking at that, you need to understand this ain't all about making money. When you're sitting in the truth and you're helping people, money will flow into your hands like you will not believe. But we've got to put an end to this sale. So many people, if 80% of the people actually take the course, which I really pray they do, that's not the average, and run a node, you are going to see fireworks in blockchain technology. Because I'm not joking. There are a lot. I hope you understand that. How many people have heard of Dogecoin? Type Doge down below if you've heard of Dogecoin. It's a joke of a coin. Yeah, I'm going to say it right now. Is it going to go higher in price? Probably. Why is it going to go higher in price? Why is it the price right now? It's because somebody popular talked about it. That's it. You don't understand that it's a deflationary coin, but whatever. You know, it wouldn't even be in existence. It was failing. It wouldn't even be in existence if they didn't reach out to the people that I know and use part of the system I'm telling you about to fix it. Trust me, you got no idea what's coming. And this group of humans around the world, you and me, Ninja Nation, are so big and so powerful. All we got to do is get together. And this is how we're going to do it. Again, I'm not promising you riches. I'm not promising you prosperity or any of that stuff. But I will do this. I will promise to open your mind this week into something you never realized. Even for people like, I don't know how to use computers. Yeah, you'll get it. You'll figure it out. Again, do it real quick. If you are in and you're committed to running a node, learning about this, setting up a wallet, I'm telling you, this is going to wake up people. This is going to wake up brilliant computer coders, CEOs. It's going to wake up world leaders because you are so big and so powerful. If you're committed, type I'm in to those three things. You're going to see things that will blow your mind in 90 days. I'm not talking about the price. Again, I urge you not to buy a bunch of this. You only need one. You only need to put one little token or one bit of this in your wallet to run the node. And just let it sit and let it start to record history. And I'm telling you, I want to hash the Bible. I want to do things that so that people cannot destroy history. When COVID happened, they went in. Where'd they go? They went for the books. They want to destroy the history books. They want to rewrite history. They don't want your children knowing what happened to your grandparents or your great-grandparents. They don't want your children and your children's children to know how a spirit that sits on this earth, has been manipulating, enslaving, and destroying people all around the world in the name of power. This is the time. This crypto should be bought by the US government because they know how serious it is. But trust me, every once in a while, you can find one of those nodes sitting on an aircraft carrier or a submarine. It's true. I'm not going to sit back and not show you guys the truth. Now, I just want to thank out loud Jesus Christ for blessing me with this channel. And I want to thank you, Lord, for protecting our minds collectively around the world as we seek truth. You said, God, that if we knock, the door will be opened. If we seek, we will find, meaning that we have to do work. So, Lord, I expect as we seek for answers in the next 90 days, that you will come forth and you will open up the floodgates of heaven with knowledge over every single person that wants it. If you want that, say yes. No, I just accept it. Say thank you. I accept this. I accept this, Lord. We're going after the giants, and we will win. The Economic Ninja is out.